Welcome to the AI Music Report. It gives me great pleasure to be with you here again on yet another adventure. And here in the house, we have DJ Stealth, who was our number one interviewee on this channel. Stealth, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right, brother. How you doing today, man?
Always better to have you, man. I'm really excited. I want to know what's been going on in the world. But before we do that, why don't I show folks a little bit about your track record and your shenanigans with
Let's do
big
it,
names in
man.
the industry. Yeah.
Appreciate you having me on the show, brother.
So without much ado, here is the top of the waves of your accomplishments. 100 million plus records sold with all your associations, 35 years active, 25 plus TV placements, 50 plus label clients. That's a huge number. And founded in 1989. Here is discography associated with Stealth, George Clinton. If you don't know that name, where have you been? And you can see Ice Cube, Coolio, names that you have probably heard in industry, Dr. Dre, Michael Jackson. The list is endless. Without much ado, let me welcome my brother, DJ Stealth. Welcome.
What's up, brother? Shouts out to Phil C. Like I said, if it wasn't for this man, I would have stopped doing music. So thank God for Phil C's channel. Make sure you guys check out philc.net and grab all his applications because, like I said, I was retired, but then I did a search. One of my publishers called me. He's like, "Hey, I need a realistic saxophone sound." So I just Googled that and that led me down my AI journey. And Phil was the first person to pop up. And I just appreciate all the free knowledge because this is a lot of gatekeeping people will do because this technology is just so good, man. It's just so great, man. So appreciate you for having me on, brother. I'm still learning stuff from you, brother.
Absolutely, man. And you know what excites me is you're a progressive thinker because a lot of folks in industry, there's the fear mongering and the gatekeeping and people running away, but you're running to it. And that's what excites me about you, man. So how's it been since you started working with some AI tools and learning more about that? What have you accomplished with it? And what is the latest and greatest in your world?
Well, it's been life changing. Like I'm like you, brother. Like I come from a foundation of playing keyboards and really being a producer and programming. I've been programming since the Commodore 64 Master Tracks Pro in 1989 and a D5. I start from that. And even before I had that, before I can even start learning turntables, I used to get the quarters and put them on and mix myself to the radio. So you got to make it happen. And Suno and these AI companies are making it happen for people that really can't afford or have the skill set to really make good music. So, I mean, it has changed my life around. Like I said, it's making me a better musician, a better producer, a better engineer, a better graphic artist, and a better record label. Like it has changed my life. So hopefully we can all work hand in hand and make ourselves better because no matter what your resume look like, you should always have an open mind to learning. And AI has opened my mind to learning things I've always dreamt about learning or can't afford to do it in college.
Absolutely, man. I love your perspective. And, you know, in this day and age, we talk about AI involvement. But the first question I have for you, Stealth, is when people say AI involvement, what does that actually mean? And you know, is AI involvement a demonic term in industry still? Are people still say, "Oh, you touched AI"? You know, what is AI involvement in practice?
Well, it can be anything. Any AI involvement with certain distribution companies, they will flag your catalog. Like I said, since I met you, Phil told me, man, why you got all this great music and not putting it out? So because of Phil, I released 10 albums, 5 different genres, and 200 songs. And they just all got pulled down because they said that you can't use AI in the music or the metadata or the covers. And I'm like, okay, well, that's crazy because I use Lander to master. So, I mean, what if you use plugins? I mean, it's just so vague that it's crazy. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of people's stuff getting pulled down because it's just crazy that if you just use it in the metadata, even the metadata, if you use any AI, these distributors are coming for us now, guys.
That is insane. That is
Any
crazy.
AI, whether it's mastering, whether it's for your album cover, whether it's for your metadata.
My
Okay,
goodness, that is wild.
it's
Even for
horrible.
artwork.
Any I could read the letter, but I mean that's what the letter said directly from the company, and they wasted a lot of time and money that I had invested in this, and I wish I'd have known this, and I really want to out this company because they're owned by one of the big three, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I know what's going on. They want to control it that way they cannot use us. When these
Mm.
big companies buy Suno and when we can't use it, they're not going to need none of us. So that's the big question that we need to be thinking about is why they're doing it. They're doing it because they can use it and then they don't need any of us no more.
This is very disturbing because with this precedent, there are a lot of other people who are going to be affected just as you were with stuff being pulled. That's a large number of tracks right there.
A lot of time, a lot of money, you know what I mean? And I really want to like dig into it and be like, well, what exactly? But they said any AI. So that could be my landering because I like using Lander because honestly, I've been mixing and mastering for a long time. But Lander is something that I like using because it's really good across like all my albums. It's very difficult
Right.
if you're doing music from different generations to make it
Exactly.
all sound the same. Suno and Lander will get you there. You know what I mean? And it's a shame we can't use these tools. Like I said, I wrote all 200 of those songs, the beats and the songs, the lyrics. It's just
Yeah.
this should, you know what? We should be our own Suno and start our own distributor company that you can use AI, just as long as you're not using anybody's music, no samples, no interpolations, just like we used to do. As long as you don't
Right.
sample it or you replay anybody's stuff, then it's up for game. Like, can I really like copyright a C, a major chord to a F to a G? Really? So I could copyright a 1 to a 4 to a 5 chord, right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and Phoenix is chiming in here that Lander limited him to 5 songs a month. That's very correct, which is why for distribution, I avoided using Lander for my hybrid stuff. I went more with DistroKid, but Phoenix is very correct. The amount of policing is just too much, and for your 200 tracks, for you to now re-release them, you'd have to go back through an entire fresh process, which could be pretty crazy. Is that what you're going to do, Stealth, or what will you do?
Well, ChatGPT said that they could actually flag me with Spotify and spy me with like they could flag me with the big companies that are the distribution companies. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So they were like, well, you might go to another distribution company, but they might have flagged you within Apple and within Spotify or YouTube. You know
They
what I
might
mean?
just
Then you're really screwed.
Yeah, they
You
might
know
have
what I
just
mean? So I don't know what to do at this point, but you know what? It brought me back to we'll talk to my boy, the legendary Cocaine, earlier, and he makes all his money like Tech Nine through independent stuff. So I was really thinking maybe I should just sell direct downloads. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I mean, our brother Phoenix is on. I mean, that's what Phoenix has been doing, and that's why I have 2 personas just for the convenience of managing my risk. So there's Phil C, but there's Phil the creator, and Phil the creator is reckless. So I'm reckless, but Phil C, it has all my analog stuff. All of my more hybrid experimental stuff is under Phil the creator. So maybe having an alternate persona for you to manage the risk just in case they end up blacklisting anything that has you on is probably a good idea. But let's go to this second thought, Stealth. Do artists deserve detailed explanation like you were alluding to, like wanting them to break down everything that they had against those releases?
I mean, if it gets down to like really telling people like what exactly you did, I was even thinking like this. Okay, let's just do it like this. Okay, every big company have their own Suno. Like it's a Warner Brothers Suno, a Sony Suno, and a Universal Suno. And then I go to their Suno, and then I could use all their stems and all that. But they get a piece of my pie. And I don't
They want
mind
to
doing that if it's a small piece, like between 10 and 50%, to be honest. And I shouldn't even be giving this game up. But that's what I would be doing if I was president of them companies, because that way it levels the playing field. What the real thing is, they don't want us competing with them artists that they spending millions of dollars to promote. I used to be that guy at Universal to promote these artists so I can speak from both sides. That's why they really don't want us competing. They don't want us to have the tools to be Quincy Jones. That's all we're doing. We're doing the same thing Quincy Jones is doing. We're instructing people instead of people to play. It's a lot of great people that don't know how to play. James Brown would instruct his instruments, his musicians what to play. That's the same thing we're doing. When you hire work for hire, it's the same thing we're doing in Suno. It should be work for hire. Actually, we shouldn't have to pay nobody. It should be work for hire.
100%.
Suno should have their own record label and let me run it. How about that, Suno? You heard that? I broke a lot of records. I was over at the Interscope Geffen A&M rap department. I'm sure I could run Suno Records, and we do our own record company and our own radio because our Suno stuff sounds better than human slop.
Let's be honest, man. A lot of these so-called high and mighty producers, let's not even go there stealth, because if we really break down the so-called people who call themselves producers, they ain't producers. They're just making beats. They're not really doing the whole interpolation of the harmony and the ideas and the lyrics. So a lot of times it's just beats. So for real producers, they don't necessarily need to be playing the instruments. It's the orchestration of the idea and the cradle to grave production of the entire thing. So I agree with you. I would say it would be good if Suno looked into that, but I know that's probably not in the cards for them. Definitely not with the big three, because they will be in direct competition with the big three if they were to do that. So that's probably not going to happen. But where is the line between AI-assisted creativity versus policy violation? From what you're sharing with me, it's sounding like the moment you introduce any form of AI, it's a policy violation with these guys. These sub big three labels, because this one is under one of the big dogs.
It's a shame. Like I said, any AI. I mean, you could use it to like write your descriptions on the album, and then they said that would disqualify the whole album and they'll pull the whole project. They said any AI. Like, what does that have to do with anything? So they have AI in Photoshop now. So okay, let's just say that we can't use Photoshop. All right. Exactly. There are plugins and programs that have AI built into it now. So now we can't use Pro Tools or we can't use these. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. Like I said, let's go by copyright law. Unless it infringes on your melody, not your chord progression, but your melodies, then you can't own it. How many chord progression? They still use we can look on the charts right now. It's probably the same, 5 or 6 chord progression. Let's keep it real in different keys.
It's true.
Come on, and it's only major and minor. They're not like really stepping out the box. They might do an add 7 or add 9 if it's some neo soul or gospel or jazz, but let's keep it real. Pop, major chords, and C, because that's the easiest key to play in. And then if it's minor, let's do A minor, because that's easy to play in too. It's all white notes. So we just gave you some game right there. Play in C major and A minor. That way you can play with all white keys. And then that way you can play in major and minor. Most of the stuff, everything's major and minor. All you got to do is learn 2 scales. You know what I mean? Yep. And then you could a little bit of music theory and you could really take it to the next level. But like I said, like I wrote and produced all these songs. I didn't use any AI generated lyrics or AI generated beats by themselves. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the problem is.
Your gospel stuff that you released towards the end, those were my favorites. And I was really looking forward to going back to listen to those. So it's really annoying what they've done. But how should independent artists structure releases? Because now it sounds like if you're not structuring your releases to bypass AI and you're under any of the big three or their conglomerates, you're going to be whacked, just like your example. So how are they bypassing it? Is there one rule for the rich, one for the poor? How are the other so-called big artists getting by the AI detection? Is what I'm
honestly. I think somebody listened to me on here, because how many people that came out about this? I think I'm the first one that I've seen that even said anything about their catalog being pulled, right? So
That's true.
to me, I think it's more personal. Maybe some people are listening and was like, this motherfucker did 10 albums, 200 songs in 4 months. Michael Jackson couldn't do that. But look, if I wrote all the music and I wrote all the damn lyrics, what the fuck? It shouldn't matter. Who cares? I didn't sample nobody's stuff. I didn't interpolate anybody's stuff. They're mad because I'm competing with them sonically. Now I can't compete with them monetarily yet, but they're mad. They really don't want to be able to compete, Phil. I'm telling you, they don't want us to be able to compete because I promise you, Suno Radio has better songs than that's on Spotify and Apple charts and terrestrial radio. Sorry.
Absolutely. I honestly agree. And you know what I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist person, but I really think that part of the media pushing the narrative of anything remotely that you used AI for is slop. I think they're pushing that narrative because it favors the big three. And until the big three have their own, like you said, Sunos in place, they're going to keep pushing that narrative. Like, everything that AI has touched is tainted, which is sad. So, do you think one should just go indie like Phoenix is indie? KP is indie. A lot of people, they just do indie stuff. And, like I know KP makes it even available for a wider audience without asking you to pay a hefty fee to listen to music. So, is that the way to go, to just be indie, or would you still advise an up and coming musician to sign to one of these guys?
Long as the Spotify's and the Apple Music allows it, because that's not in their particular policy.
That's true.
It's the DSP's policy. You see what I'm saying? Because if they was to eliminate if they was to do that at let's say they did it at all the music suppliers, that would take out, I promise you, that would take out, I would say 50% of the catalog. Okay. If they was to take out all AI music, that's the same rules that I'm going through my DSP. That means no artwork AI, no video AI, no music AI, no.
You have no control. You're just like a puppet. You're a pawn at that point, because once your music is distributed, it's sounding like you don't have control. If you go with one of these conglomerates, or you go with, the big three is the puppet master behind many of these smaller labels. A lot of people don't, and I don't want to mention names, but is it smarter to challenge a takedown, or to protect your broader catalog? Because if you go against them, your broader catalog is at risk, isn't it? Like in your case.
Yeah, like my regular catalog that I've done, that I've been eating off of I got famous people that I've worked with in my catalog: Talib Kweli, Redman, Exhibit, Snoop. Like, I got a lot of famous people that are on my label that I have out through this conglomerate. So the last thing I need is to piss these people off, and then they pull my whole catalog, then I have to re-upload it somewhere. So I don't really want to mention which DSP, but this is crazy that, and I just want to see if it happens to others, or they just singled me out. You know what I mean? Because like I said, that's crazy.
I have to be honest, because my ear is tuned to what's happening in the industry, and I haven't seen this aggressive a takedown. There might be a tap on the shoulder to kind of warn one, but to take 200 tracks down is just, it's devil's work. Is crazy. So should independent artists structure their releases differently to avoid collateral damage? Should they just go full indie? Don't go with any of these big guys anymore.
But we need them, because you need the Spotify's and the Apple Music to get to the majority. So that's the gatekeeping right there. It's just, we need to really read into these contracts with our DSPs. Like, what does DistroKid say? Like, does DistroKid allow it? And then really read through, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read through every one of these DSPs contracts and make sure I'm not wasting my time again, because I didn't even know. I've been using my distribution for 10, probably about 11, 12 years I've had my catalog with this distribution company.
So will they be mad if you pivot to a different distribution company?
I'm not going to take my regular catalog off of there, but I'm talking about my new stuff. I'm going to have to put out a different way.
Yeah.
But this is the cold part. This is how I know how they playing games. They didn't take down all 10. They took down 9. They left my blues project up there. Of all things, they left my blues project up there. So I'm like, the AI is fucked up. I'm serious. The AI, whatever program or whoever's, why would you look? I
How
did
did
this.
do you think they're using Deezer? Because the only one out there right now is the Deezer that have come out with the detection. Spotify, they haven't come out to say they're using any detection. Apple is asking you to come forward and declare. So I mean, I don't know what kind of detection they're using that would flag all those tracks. It's
Why did
sick.
it flag everyone but the blues album? That's what I'm Skid Row Blues. So you guys, if
Mm.
you guys want to hear some of my new stuff, that's the only one they left up. All other 9 projects they took down. So there's something going on that's not right with the algorithm because I did the same process throughout all 10 songs.
Phoenix says the big three has been selling slop for years.
Yes. At least in Suno, it's not going to be offbeat or out of key in general. You know what I mean?
True, true.
The writing
True.
is going to suck, but that's where Suno made me become a better songwriter and a real producer. Like it took me out my element and made me learn how to be a better songwriter and to songwrite and to learn how to be a real producer. So if anything,
Truth be told,
AI's helped me become a better musician and producer and
truth,
record
truth,
executive.
truth be told, and you know, AI made me become a better singer because I started getting more serious
That too.
with my singing and started adding vocals to
Mm-hmm.
what I was doing before. I would just at the snap of a finger get someone to do it because I have people who would do it, but I couldn't get them quickly enough to release the stuff I wanted to. And AI also made me a better musician because now I'm hearing stuff that I've heard for years and couldn't really break it down. Now with the stems and the MIDI, I'm like, I see what's going on there. So, you know, AI people who demonize it, they got no clue, which is really unfortunate. I agree with you. We probably need to look for a better mousetrap. Maybe I've played with the idea of starting a, you know, hybrid label where you could use AI and stuff like that. But I know my lane. That's not my passion. My passion is to create the actual music. You know, I don't have a passion to have a label. But would you say that platforms are enforcing faster than they are defining? Because these guys, they should have sent you a memo long ago defining terms, and they didn't do that. They just went for the juggler. Just take all your stuff down. That's gotta
Somebody,
hurt.
I think somebody on these podcasts and stuff, because look, I'm the only one I know, and I know a lot of people. I know famous songs that have used AI, you know what I mean? And their DSPs aren't tripping, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
somebody, who knows? Like with every good stuff comes some bad stuff. That's just how the universe is. Like if you guys
Mm.
don't know, I'm working on a television show right now. So if you guys have any upbeat, bouncy instrumentals, send them to Beatology, BEATOLOGY at MAC.com. So I'm working on a TV show at a major network. So who knows, you know, somebody hating, you know what I mean? And probably is like, let's see how we can get them. That's why I don't tell people information. They be calling there trying to mess up your opportunities and all kind of stuff. It's just foolishness in this music industry. So who knows? I think somebody might have made a phone call, man.
You just never know these days, which is why we got to be careful. And I honestly don't want us to put out any names associated because these are big names associated with this craziness.
Yes. And they
Yeah,
can actually affect like the job I have now and really take
exactly.
down the catalog I have that I eat off of. Like I
Yep.
get 2 incomes from that. I get publishing and I get sales from my catalog. It ain't a lot, you know. I still have to have a regular job. And don't be afraid like to have a regular job. I work like big companies like music. You'll be lucky to be able to make good money and do good music and to be with people you like. That those 3 things will never happen in music. I'm telling you. If you even get 2 of those things in music, you're lucky. So, man,
That's true. So these detection systems, they, you know, I'm just repulsed by the detection systems because they're now weaponizing these detection systems. It seems like there's no escape. Once you're under one of the minions of the big three, you got to play to their tune. So would you say this is shifting leverage away from artists in the long term? Are we getting weaker as artists? Our bargaining power is getting weaker.
like I said, mark my words on this. You can call me Nostradamus, whatever. These companies are gonna take the AI and with these robots, They don't need us no more. It's going to be the record company and whoever is programming the show. Like literally right now, I could program a show. I do AV too. I could use Claude and program my lights, my board, set up my board, and set up AI robots to do all the dance and have backup robots. So if one trips, it's going to that now. At Coachella, I promise you, within the next year or two, they're going to be fully AI robot shows. And then the record companies won't need none of us. And you guys are sitting around worried about foolishness. But if you know what, the people that really have resumes like me and Phil and Timbaland and Mohami Day and people that are really talented and will.i.am, we're not worried about it. It's only people that don't have the skills that are better than AI. See, people that really do some real songs, we know that you just can't put in Suno, write me a hit song. It's going to write you, my dog has on neon panties or something. It was literally something like that, right? And I like it like that because it really makes you put in real lyrics and put in a real beat, and then it will finish it for you if you can't finish it. And it gives me chord progressions I would have never thought about. Okay, man. And bass lines and things I would have never, and I've been playing for a while. Like, tell the truth, as a musician, man, it does some pretty cool chord progressions and bass lines sometimes.
Man, it's crazy. I mean, I feed it stuff and it 10x's it. And I think Charlie's right on the money. Charlie says it's trendy to hate on AI music. Isn't that true? I mean, misery loves company. They're going to keep pushing that narrative. He says, but it seems to be slowing down. Do you see the hate of AI slowing down? Because honestly, Stealth, like in the past few days, I'm seeing a lot of AI tracks, obviously AI. There's this really big guy with a huge beard, and I'm like, this is definitely AI, but people are like, we love it. We don't care. We love it. So if that continues, your prediction, your Nostradamus prediction is likely to come to pass. I mean, you're going to see people not even caring anymore because I don't know where the majority of the haters are coming from, but I think they are not, like you said, probably not as full-fledged because AI can't replace me, period. I've done the work, I've done the listening, I've done the homework. I'm not bothered. And you're not bothered. You got the track record, you got all the hits, you got a good sheet of references there. But even some of your colleagues, though, Stealth, let's look at those that have similar credentials but are freaked out. Why are those people different than you?
Because they're selling a product. And if you notice anybody selling a product that AI is about to eat up, they're the ones. Like for instance, education is mad. But the lower level education is mad. But guess what? Berkeley is teaching AI. If you guys don't know, Berkeley is the best music school. Everybody I know that went to Berkeley is a working somebody in music, right? So if you're serious about, and you have to go, because this is what I truly believe. Like the real people, they outdoing, they're not teaching, and they don't have to go to school. Like if you're really talented, like all the people that I know didn't go to school and don't teach, right? So you can do this without that if you have half an aptitude. I didn't even graduate high school, okay? It's just I loved music and I practiced DJing 14 hours a day. Like right now, they don't know how much work we do, Phil. You know what I mean? Like I be having a regular job, 8, 12, 16 hours, and I still will come home and sit on this computer and put in 8 hours of work. This stuff takes work if you really want to do great music. So the educators are mad. The mid and low level engineers and musicians are mad because they're going to be out of work because you will get usable stuff from Suno, right? But if you want to take it to that next level, you got to be better than Suno. Seriously, like I'm not going to front, like the musicians that are better bass players and better keyboard, they're going to want money. You know what I mean? So we can't afford that. And like what I like Suno for is other instruments. I don't have money for a mandolin. I don't have money for an accordion. I don't have money for a music box. Like it has really realistic sounds, better than Logic and better than anything out there. And I still like using Logic and like really getting in the programming and stuff, but it just make it a lot better, man. So stop gatekeeping, you guys, or we're just going to make our own label. Or I'm going to team up with Suno, and we're going to have Suno Radio, and we're going to have Suno Records, and they got the money behind them. It's just I hope they don't fold. When Suno sells themselves to whoever, if they do that, and then we won't be able to use it, then they don't need us, fools.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's the scary thought. When I listen to Mikey, I'm always trying to look at him from a different angle. Will Mikey betray us? Will he sell us out? And I haven't gotten a bad vibe from him. I always get the positive that he's in it for the vision of making music available to the world and making it a better place. So I hope that continues. Although, the looming lawsuits in the background with UMG and Sony, it just keeps making me ask the question. But you know what, Stealth? You probably already know this. China is not sleeping. China has a slew of free tools that they will unleash in the world, and they will cause disruption. So I know Suno is the best, it's the most intelligent. I've examined all the other solutions. But what if those other solutions begin catching up? What if they become more formidable? That's my only concern. Have you ever thought of that? What happens if Suno folds?
I'm so comfortable in using that I've tried other ones, and to me, they're job better. And what I like about Suno, I hope you're listening. I like how you can let us have our own, use our own music to get our own algorithm. Now, what we should do, because we don't have the computers or the programming power, is be able to put my whole catalog in that, right? And then I should be able to license that out. Like if Phil wants to have a DJ Stealth type beat, I should be able to license my catalog model out to Phil and get a percentage. Yep. Like whoever does that is going to be rich. Because I would love to take Phil's program and make some jazz and stuff like that and give him his credit and give him a percentage out of it. You know what I mean? So whoever does that, and I'm giving up too much as I usually do. You know what I mean? Whoever does that is going to get rich. That way we can I like the way a lot of producers sound, and I would love to be able to work with a lot of producers and just we all split. You're going to be splitting stuff up. Like when people do stuff with Beyonce, they might have to work with 10 different producers and 10 different songwriters. So that's how the industry is now. You know what I mean? I just wish they would stop gatekeeping, and they're gatekeeping, but they're going to make a way for us, because if not, we'll just start our own record label, our own DSP where we allow Suno or whatever else, or Lander, because that's all I use. I use Suno and Lander. And then I use Chat GPT to help me with some of the descriptions. That's all I use. And I wrote all the lyrics myself and I produced the song. So I don't see what the beef is. I didn't use any samples. I didn't use any loops. And I didn't replay or interpolate anybody's music. So I don't see
what. Did you ask them why? Are you thinking of asking them for an explanation about Skid Row Blues? Why didn't you pull that one too?
I'm just don't want them to take my whole catalog down. They be like, okay,
we got missed that one.
Yo ass. But I made them a lot of money though. You see what I'm saying? I've had over 3 million streams. All right.
Wow.
3 million streams. And I could thank 1 million of that to you, Doc, because before I met you and started doing AI, I only was at 2 million. Since I put out those 200 songs, it went up 1 million in fucking 4 months. So I know I'm on to something. All right. My catalog with famous people went up 1 million. It went up 33% in 4 months. That took me 14 years because I did that. Wow. That's why they don't want it. It enables us power. And I didn't have no money to drop on these records. That's what they be mad about too. How about all the money that I would have spent on Spotify campaigns or metadata ads? They don't care about none of that. You see, so this is horrible, and you guys better watch out, man, because I hate to say it, if they did it to me, man, they better start doing it to everybody else.
Honestly, man, look, I think it's a prophecy. Your Nostradamus is gonna start happening, because I think they really want to exert this power and control, and I don't know. This is owned by one of the big three. Your guys are owned by one of the big three, so they might have been getting orders from on high to start yanking stuff out and being brutal with it. So I just hope you are able to find a better channel, a better mousetrap. Have you thought of creating an alternate persona, or what are you going to do with all those 200 now? Maybe create a different name.
I'm going to tell y'all, remember I said this, I'm going to buy me some AI robots. And I'm going to start programming. I already do it for sound and lighting anyway. I'm going to program my own AI robot shows, and we're going to do these songs. And we're going to go out and we're going to do these shows. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of hearing this human slop, out of beat. I mean, come on, we got all this auto-tune now, and y'all still singing flat on records that are out.
True.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear flat records. I don't want to hear the same chord progressions. I don't want to hear off time stuff or just chord progressions and melodies that just don't make sense. Like, go to the Spotify charts right now, you guys, and then go to the Suno charts right now. And you tell me what's better. And then it's about money, you guys. Like, all the money they spend, they don't want us to organically take these plays away from us.
That's true.
That's what it is. We
That's true.
threatening them. That's what it is. It ain't enough that they already taken my distribution money. They want to own everything. You get it?
I think you're really hitting the nail on the head. So probably AI does need labeling as far as having our own labels now for that, so that we don't need to fight this battle. But the question is, will people listen? Because, for people like us that have an audience, it's different. But for the newcomers, people ain't listening to their stuff, because the surveys show that only 0.5% of the streams are AI stealth. So, I mean, what do you have to say to the people banging out stuff and hoping for the best? What do those folks need to do to get more visibility of their material? Any advice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Like, to get number one right now on Billboard is only about 3,000 streams. So just go buy 3,000. Somebody go buy 3,000 units, and then you'll chart to number one. That's the oldest trick in the book. It's all about
Mm,
money. You know what I mean? And paying people to be on. I don't care. Paying people to be on Spotify playlists. That's where it's at now. If you got to
mm.
hook up on a Spotify playlist, and then it's Google ads and metadata now. Like back in the day, we used to literally have to go to the radio station and go to the clubs and beg DJs to
True,
play records and put up
true.
posters and pass out flyers and sandwich
Yep.
boards and picket signs. Now it's a digital thing. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So they want to be able to control all that, like they don't want it. Like organically, I was getting cool spins. Like I said, my spins went from 2 million to 1 million in 4 months with no marketing promotion. You get what I'm saying?
crazy.
Organically, I might have spent, to be honest with you, I might have spent maybe about 500 on the first project. You know
Two
what I mean?
million
Like,
to 3 million is crazy. That's wild, man. And you said you started using, was it last year, last middle of last year, or towards
I
the
think
end of
about
last?
5 months ago now is when I first put out my first record. And then throughout
Wow.
4 month period, I put out 10 records with 20 songs each. I put out a gospel record, a couple hip hop
Yeah.
records, a Latin record. You know what I mean? I was really like digging into genres that I would have trouble doing. You know what I mean? And it really enabled me to express myself in a way I could never do it. First of all, for me to hire those musicians or to play those instruments or to get those instruments, and it just cost, excuse me, a lot of
Cost
money,
prohibitive. Yep.
a lot
Yep.
of money. You know what I mean? So I don't see what the problem is if I wrote it and wrote the music and wrote the lyrics. I don't see why anybody should have a problem with that. Who cares? You
Yeah.
girls wear makeup and all that stuff and do Photoshop. So if I put like some girls get mad about that. Like I'm like,
Put some
y'all wear
lipstick on the
makeup
music.
and do all these butt lifts and stuff. And because I got on my thing, I got tattoos and all that. Oh, you perpetrating. I'm like, yeah, I am. You guys wear makeup. I'm gonna use AI for my tattoos. I have a regular job. I can't have tattoos on my face. I can't have visible tattoos. I have a regular job. I worked at Disney for 5 years. You back then you would have to have the no bald or mustache. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Ask my
Yep.
boy Assassin. He in there right now. He knows like Disney didn't play back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I can't have
True.
visible tattoos for real.
Yeah,
So it's
it's true.
crazy how offended like girls on dating websites be mad about AI. And I'm like, whatever. If you really want to see me, then go like to my Instagram and go to my live. This is me. I can't do live Instagram. Like they got live Instagram, these girls, where it make them look pretty. Shoot. This ain't a
That's
filter. My face ain't a filter. The back, yeah, that's a filter, but this is me.
Oh my goodness, Stealth. Look, walk us through your process, because you are prolific. Let me just remind people, because seeing is believing. I know in the very beginning, a lot of the folks, they missed what you shared. So let's see. Let me put this up if I can and share it, because your credentials, they speak They speak volumes. Let's see. Okay, let me take this off and put this on. All right. So let's just show people a few of the names because seeing is believing. Just take a look at this man's track sheet of awesome people that he's worked with. Just take a look, take a look, take a look. I mean, a lot of these names are names you know. And let's talk about film and TV projects he's been involved with. I was telling my daughter about your track record, and she said, "My goodness, he must be old." I'm like, "No, it's as old as I
I
am. Am
just
I
turned
old?"
54, so that might mean old to her, yeah.
But look, just take a look at all these names, folks. I mean, this is as awesome as it gets in the industry. Now, to have someone like Stealth here, you have opportunity to ask him any question. I want you to put some questions in the chat and ask this awesome dude some really thought provoking question. But my question to you, Stealth, is what fuels your creativity? I know, what's your dog's name again? What's his name?
I'm scared to say it. Papa, he's back there.
Papa.
My crazy Belgian Malinois. Shouts out to my friend Reggie Moore. He's the one that's in the chat on my Instagram right now. So if you guys want like good good dogs, but a lot of training, check out Reggie Moore. He's in the chat. Yeah, but
Shout out to Reggie. Absolutely. So your dog probably inspires. Have you written a song about Papa or
I
not
was
yet?
writing a country song about it, but I was trying to stall on my country record because I like studying genres really, really well. So I don't put out a horrible project, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was called My Neighbor's Dog. You know what I mean? About how I didn't have a dog, but I'm glad the neighbor's dog. I used to look forward to my neighbor's dog coming to see me. You see, I
Wow.
would have never even thought about writing a song like that if it wasn't for people like you, man. Like I said, encouraging me to put songs out. Hey, the worst could happen, they'd be like, okay, next. But you're gonna like something. Out these 300 something songs I have in my catalog, you gotta like something. Come on. I
Absolutely.
hope.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I love that last album and I was listening to it. I love you you've really gone into video, man. So tell me, what are you thinking about when you're creating? Does it just come to you or do you sit down and say, "Okay, I'm going to engineer my next project. This is what it's going to be about." What's your thought process when you write?
Well, the reason why I stopped at 8 years because like I said, like I already have like 150 songs that I work with a lot of famous people and stuff. And to me, I wasn't growing. Like my stuff wasn't getting better. It was starting to sound the same. So I just took a break, you know. And plus, like some business things happening. Like we could talk about that too, how important it is to have agreements and to have
Oh
good
yeah.
relationships and business with people. That way
Mhm.
we can keep doing business. But I took a break and then I got to shouts out my homegirl. She called me and asked like what I was doing. One of my publishers out the blue. And that's what turned me on to you could thank Google for and YouTube for helping me find you. And then I learned all my stuff like how to about Suno and how to do video, how to do images from you. So you guys make sure go to philc.net and check Phil, PHILLC.net and check out all his different resources. He even got resources for learning how to play. You know what I mean?
I
So
appreciate that, man. Let's show some of the folks on here. We have, I don't know if you're looking at the chat, we have K Richards here. KC Richards says, "I'm one of the oldies. I spent my life doing studio work." Wow. Shout out to KC Richards. I'm 70 now. And wow, I've been using Suno for production. I write my lyrics, structure my songs, and use it for background vocals. Shout out to you, Casey Richards. Well done. Way to go. Let's show what Stealth is talking about here. So, this is what we call the AI Creatives Connect Safe Haven. And if you go to musicspiration.com, I put it in the chat, go to musicspiration.com. What Stealth is talking about are these tools. So here we've got a prompt generator that can be used for world music. But you know the one that's my favorite? This is the one that Stealth influenced. It's called a prompt supersizer. And as a result of his influence, we now have a supersizer that can take a genre and then go into subgenre. So, like when he asked me this, I knew hip hop was his favorite. It's my favorite as well. But I hadn't really categorically thought of trap. I love trap. I love mumble rap and all that kind of stuff. But I hadn't really thought of doing prompters for it until he asked. So now we have at least a get started. And for those who want to go to the next level, because there's levels in everything, you can actually become a member of the channel. And if you become a member of the channel here at the bottom, then you get access to the crazier prompters that Stealth and others have the ability to use. And as he was saying, I have an arranger keyboard here. I won't play any of it, but you can go in there. It's free. You can also go into the jukebox. So if you are a musician, you got all of these really crazy tracks you can jam on top of. They're all available on your phone. If you're using the iPhone 17, just give it a few moments to download, but it will download. And then very recently, I added the music theory piece. So if you want to learn all that stuff that Stealth was talking about in the beginning, like chords and sharp 5 and sharp 9s and all that stuff, if you want to go into music theory, it's all free. All of this stuff is free because we want people to have a good time. And then I also have here the keys, just basic piano. So if you just want to, bang out a melody, take it into Suno. This was just added a few days ago. If you want to just go in here and create your melody and all that stuff, you just hit record and you can record your melody. It has sax, has flute, and all that stuff. So that's what Stealth is talking about when he talks about the tools that he's been using. But his creative process, I always like knowing how. So let's talk about the old way of creating back in the 80s, 90s, like the drum machines and so on. Do you turn your drum machine on anymore, Stealth?
Drum machine. I done went through so much equipment to where I'm down to 2 monitors and a laptop and a Behringer mixer. I'm about to try to get a sound card so I can start doing live auto tune and stuff like that. So I'm looking at some universal audio cards, but I'm back to the beginning again. Like I went from the big studio, I'm back down to little stuff again. But I don't even need none of that stuff anymore because a lot of my ideas now for Suno come from stuff that I'm humming in my head. That I'll hum it in my head, and then I would take it and then extract out what Suno gives me once I get a good take, and then put it in Logic, and then Frankenstein. Like I might do 10 reiterations of a humming thing, and then just Frankenstein the beat together in Logic, because Logic will match the tempos. You know what I mean? And Frankenstein it together. You know what I mean? And to me, that's a lot of stuff. Or I'll take some of my old beats and then I'll mess around and upload it in Suno, then mess with the parameters. And it's different ways, but it's never nothing like generated from Suno, because I used to try that. Just let them generate something, and it's horrible. And I think that's the stuff that they might. I don't even think they should be able to flag that, man. If you, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yep. But the gatekeepers care. The gatekeepers, and you know what? It's all tied to, Stealth. It's all tied to the bag. It's all tied to the ad revenue. Because when you think about it, that's where we're eating. Like I get checks from Spotify every month. I don't want those checks to go away. I'm not demonizing Spotify, but I'm just saying that a lot of the gatekeepers want to prevent people being part of the pool, right? And the more people they can keep out from being part of the pool, the better. And the way to do it is by saying, if you're creating with AI, you don't deserve to be in the same pool where people who are just doing human music is. So I'm not saying it's right, but that's the general mindset and consensus. And I don't think that is going to stop, at least for the next 50 years. You're going to keep having people that say AI shouldn't be allowed. It's going to keep being a battle of wills. I know China and some other countries are pushing for people to use these tools. It's an arms race for AI music. And Suno is in the lead right now, but Murica is not far behind, and others who I will not publicize.
Google?
Google. Google is a show. It's the funny thing. I was listening to Producer AI earlier. Have you used it?
No, but let me tell you that I learned about Google. Pretty soon, when you if you Google R&B beat, and then it will send you to somebody's website, they say by 6 months when you do that, they're not going to send you to our website. They're going to just generate the beat for you when you search for it. Okay, so you better think about stuff like that. Okay, like people worried about, so they're trying to eliminate us all together. Like companies, like it's a million people coming out with different AI generators for music. It's just you got to do better music than them. You know what I
Wow.
mean? What it is, it's an average. It's taking all these songs and doing numbers and averaging out what chord progressions and all that. It's a computer doing it. You just got to be better than average. Then you'll be okay. If you're average in your music production or your musicianship, you're gonna have to come do security. Because I don't. They're going to automate that too. Pretty soon they're going to automate security with
That's
drones.
true, man. You're right. You're right.
So
It's
you got to be smarter than the AI. If you're not smarter than the AI, you got to figure out what. I mean, think about this. What can AI not do now?
mm,
Truck
you're right.
drivers, they're about to be obsolete. Even cars and taxis, that's about to be obsolete through Waymo and Tesla. You know what I mean? So it's the
True.
education people, the lower education, because Berkeley's teaching AI. It's the lower
Yeah.
education people that make money and giving these people $100,000, $200,000 loans, and they're not going to get a job. How many people go to Musicians Institute and then USC and all these places and still can't get a job? And when you do get a job in film, television, and music, it's an intern, so you're not getting paid. And when you do get paid, it's probably $17, $18 an hour because it's flooded. Or you have to
Mm.
do you got to go to a puffy party to even get considered on your application. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff, it's just horrible. It's just music, film, and television. I'm telling you, like,
True.
it is not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard for me to sit at them parties. Was that you that invited me to an Udio party? I went to, man, going to them parties, dude, at 54 is tough, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, I'll put it like this. It ain't like the good Interscope parties. It is open bar and it's good networking and stuff like that, but it's just not the right vibe, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
DJ Stealth, man, you've really opened a wormhole of discussion. My main takeaways are: if DJ Stealth can be hit by these crazies, then anyone can be hit. They're coming for you next. And it's in gradations. They look for excuses and reasons, but they will get to your catalog if you don't protect yourself. And I think the way to protect yourself, if you are already an established artist, you might need to create an alternate persona. You may not need to publicize it. You could just be underground, just like the Velvet Underground. And maybe you might get a number one hit, who knows? But I wouldn't advise it. The risk is very high based on what Stealth has shared tonight. If you're thinking of just getting into the industry, like he said, read the fine print in whatever contract you're signing. A lot of these new artists, they got no clue they're signing their entire life and rights away. And it's too late by the time they realize. So you might want to go the indie route, and you might want to do a whole lot of research. Now, if you're an AI, predominantly AI assisted artist, again, because we got this really cool question here. Let me bring this up. So, um, I need $1 billion 6885. I like that name. Don't we all need a Billy? So said we need a bridge from people with a following to the newcomers, and the talent will shine through. So let's talk about that, because that's a good idea. And the reason why a lot of established names won't, I covered this a few days ago in my Don't Ask, Don't Tell video. In that video, I show you how tons of people from the Rolling Stones publication are using AI. A lot of big names who will remain nameless, but the reason why they have a don't ask, don't tell policy is you're demonized. As DJ Stealth said, people are trying to protect their brands. So this model will not work for now, because a lot of people are scared of being associated with anything AI. What I would say to any new AI assisted emerging artist is try your best to develop a bond between you and your listeners, because people want a story behind what they're listening to. They want to know some kind of history, or they want to be able to connect. And some people have been able to do it, like Zania Monet has been able to do it, but she didn't just put out her work, she put her face out there. You get what I'm saying? And she let people know these are poems I wrote. I wrote this poem as a result of a family member that went through X, Y, or Z. So if you're not writing with an intent to connect with people, you're not going to be able to do it that well. So, I agree, people need a gateway, but I'll also say go online, connect with people, tell your story, Talk about what you're going through. I have so many people on the channel, Stealth, that are either disabled or they have some other mobility impairment or they have sight impairment. Those are stories that people would love to hear. Just what took you to AI. And that's the sad part. You know, when I hear these big three labels, I won't even mention names, not worth it. But talking about the walled garden model is a prison yard. People don't want that, you know. So my advice to anyone who is looking at getting to a wider audience, always begin with why. And you know, we have one of our mentors on the call, Phoenix Benjamin on the call. Phoenix, do you want to chat in what people should do? Because shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix wrote a book on this AI mentality stuff, how we need to approach AI from a human perspective with our identity first. So let me ask him to drop a note in the comment. But Stealth, what do you have to say to people who are new trying to break into music? Never been in the industry like we have, can't play an instrument. Do you have any advice for those folks?
Yes, you gotta study and practice, then you execute. Like if you want to do music, like there's so much resources like Phil's website online to learn theory. You gotta learn theory, but along with the theory, you gotta learn business. You know what I mean? That way you know how to know what to ask for and know what to look out for in these contracts and stuff. Also, you got to be likable. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not likable, people are not going to help you. You know, people, a lot of this stuff is 10% talent and not 90% who you know in a relationship with those people. So you
Wow.
got to get out, you got to network. Like I'm an introvert, but I hate networking, but you got to make yourself go do it. Like there's so many resources out here in LA. If you guys, I'm going to give you guys some good ones. Infolist.com. Like check Jeff Gunn
Mhm.
out. He's another film composer. He does all kind of parties around Hollywood and stuff, and it's good networking. He's a film composer, so he's around all the Hollywood people. That's a good one. And Music Connection magazine. That got me a lot of leads. Musicconnection.com, and you know, join ASCAP and BMI, and I hate to say it, like taxi.com. You know what I mean? I don't have
Wow.
I
You
really
go way
don't
back,
like
man.
them. You know what I mean? But if you don't have
Crazy.
anything else, then go to taxi.com and just study what's
Goodness.
out there. I'm not gonna front, like I don't like them, but they gave me opportunities. I met some leads through them. You know what I mean? And like this is information that I usually get $500 an hour for, but Phil is a good guy to me, and I want you guys to succeed. And I'm looking for producers right now. Like I'm working on a TV show on a major network. That's why I be careful with my words. So if you guys
Mm.
have any upbeat, bouncy, urban contemporary songs, send them to me. Beatology, BEATOLOGY at macmac.com, or go to the website www.beatologist.com, beatologist.com, beatologist.com. You can check out our catalog and some available beats too. You know what I mean? Because the catalog is still up there, minus the last 9 albums. The blues album is up there, and then all our other catalog that we released before all this drama with the AI crap. So appreciate it, man.
There's the information. There you go. Yeah, send it over to DJ Stealth. And for those who want to get in touch, you can always check the channel because all the information is on the channel as far as the AI Creatives Connect. You have anything to send? I will warn you though, my mailbox gets extremely full. I have to go in there to search for stuff to pull out. It's crazy. But I mean, there's so many folks that want to get into this world of music. And, you know, I just tell people I want to help democratize music, which is why I create these instruments. So go have at it. But one thing I ask you to do as a creative is connect with your audience. Don't just be behind a fort pushing music out and hoping that by black magic is going to be listened to. No, some people have had success putting out tracks without really revealing who is behind it or the story. But I'm telling you, to improve your chances of connecting with your audience, people got to know you. They got to know you or they won't flow you. They got to know who you are. And then you have a better chance. And then, wow, DJ Stealth, I can't even remember when last I thought of taxi.com. Yeah, I had forgotten about
Have
taxi.com.
you
That
ever
you,
used it?
oh, yeah, back in the day, way back in the day.
And did you get some leads from it?
Yeah, absolutely. I got
Yeah, me
connected.
too. Me too.
got good connections from there. Way back in the day, I'd even forgotten about it. I would have been recommending it. So shout out to Taxi. My goodness, I'm shocked they are still in
Man,
existence.
they
Those
they
guys are,
doing their thing, and then that's a good networking opportunity. Like I'm not gonna front, like I keep saying, I'm not on best terms with them, but I'm not gonna mess that up for you guys. I do suggest people doing it. Sometimes you can catch it on sale too, and like
yeah.
to go networking there is great. Like that's one of the best networking events. I would say
It
that.
is.
The NAM show, the NAB show in Vegas just happened. You know what I mean?
Mm,
ASCAP shows. Join the Grammys too, because the Grammys, you could join them and go to their shows too. You know what I mean? So you
that's
got to get
true.
out there and network, have good music, have a great attitude. You know what I mean, and do what you got to do. Like I said, I've done
Absolutely.
everything but some puffy party stuff to make it in music. I mean, everything. Like you talking about, I was around the Suge and Death Row stuff. I was with Rootless and Easy and all that stuff. So you got to be, you
Yeah.
got to make sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
it's
You
not
got.
easy. Like you won't
Yeah.
believe some of these stories I could tell you guys, but you got to love it. If you don't love music, don't do it.
Right.
It doesn't pay a lot. You know what I mean? You know, unless you make it big. You know what I
True.
mean? You get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye and Jay-Z and these people with real talent. Like think about who you competing with. You competing with Jay-Z and Kanye and these people with real talent. So you
Mm.
gotta study and practice and go to Phil's website and learn theory and learn business and then study. You know what I mean? Study, practice, and execute.
You bring up a great point, Stealth. And these are things that I have never really recommended to a lot of our people who have been asking, how can I take it to the next level? But the NAM show, I mean, for people, anyone who's serious, just go there and network. Just find a way of networking with people because, as Stealth said, it's 90% who if you don't know people in industry, you don't have any connections, you don't have any names on your record sheet, then just you're floundering. Now, these days, social media has been very kind to us because you can have an overnight star who just gets some viral views. And we've had a few of those on our channel. Our people, some of them have almost gone viral with their music, but not everyone has that opportunity. So try to do something more intentional and deliberate is what I would recommend. Okay. All right, Stealth, what are your final thoughts? We've been going on an hour here. We're going to let people go get some reprieve and rest for the big crazy Monday. Everyone knows how Mondays are. But what are your final thoughts for our guests tonight, our viewers tonight?
Like I said, never give up on your dream. Like I said, if it wasn't for Phil and a couple of my other friends that pulled me back in, like and like it really helps with your mental. Like once you've been to the top, like I'm saying, like it's hard to be impressed, but like I just appreciate people like Phil and some of my other friends that pulled me back in because regular life be boring without music. So number one, I like to thank the universe and I like to thank music for keeping me sane. Like I'm much
Mm.
more happier doing music than just a regular boring 9 to 5 because I tried it. You know what I mean? So do it for your mental health and do it because you love it and it heals. Like I
Oh,
see, like what Phil says, like I've seen it like bring up people in dementia. You know what I mean? How people go to the old folks home and how happy it makes people. Music changes lives. So never ever give up on your dream, but be the best. You know what I mean? If you really want to do this, be the best DJ, be the best producer, be the best musician, and be easy to work with and do the right business when you get these positions. Pay people, credit people, and just do the right thing. Do the right thing. Treat people how you want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like I said, I would never think that I'd be doing these TV shows and all this AI stuff. Life changes. And like even his background is thanks to this man right here. So, like I said, you got to study. Like, I don't watch sports. I don't play video games. I study stuff on YouTube. That's how I even found Phil C. And never
crazy.
think that you're too great to learn. Never let your ego, never look at that assets or your resume and be like, oh, I'm better than you. No, you have more
Mm,
experience, but experience means nothing without a brain. You know what I mean?
mm,
So, and never, I was talking to my friend, never treat people bad. Like, even if you're in a bad mood, like, try to listen to people and give people the same chance that somebody gave you. Never forget where you came from. And like I said, I'm approachable. Like you guys can reach me, www.beatologist.com. Beatollogist on Instagram, Beatology, YouTube, Beatology, and you can even go on my Facebook, DJ Stealth. I'm not running from nobody, and I want to listen to your stuff, but please send me stuff that I'm looking for. You know, you guys can send me some of your catalog and stuff like that, but right now I'm looking for up-tempo contemporary instrumentals to play on this TV show, and I need like 60 beats this week. We're filming in a week. You know what I mean? So this is a lead. How many times you guys go on a show and get a major music supervisor? You just don't know how the universe works, you guys. True. You just don't know. Yeah. Phil, a year ago, I was kissing music supervisors' butt. Now I am a music supervisor. So you just never know how the universe works. And that's through a friend I've been knowing from 30 years.
Wow.
Relationships, okay? Wow. Relationships. Taxi would charge you to talk to me, okay? Yep. I'm just saying, because you guys are listening to Phil and stuff, you guys got a direct contact with me. Gordon, DJ Stealth McGinnis. I'm not running from nobody. You know what I mean? And I'll listen to your stuff. I want to help. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make a difference for music supervisors. All the music supervisors I know, that's another thing. Download the music supervisor guide and all that, and then see how many of them take unsolicited materials. If you guys don't know, unsolicited mean they don't even want to hear your stuff unless you come in with somebody. I'm gonna listen to you. So most big music supervisors, you can't even submit them stuff. They don't take unsolicited material, right? So take this as a blessing. You know what I mean? And then send me what I asked for. Then, like I said, go on Taxi and look out for me. Like I gave you guys a lead, give somebody else a lead. You guys might know some other stuff besides Taxi that actually works. Taxi, the only reason I'm saying that because it worked for me. And what I like about them, they give you feedback. I might not have time to give you feedback. This week, I got to go through 3,000 songs in the catalog of this big conglomerate and pick these songs for these if I can't find nothing. I'd rather use people I know, but if I can't, I got to use the company music. So guys, send me the music, okay? Because like I said, normally Taxi and people like that charge to talk to music supervisors. You know what I'm saying? So
appreciate you, man. I appreciate you giving this opportunity to producers and music makers out there. You're very correct. This is a once in a long time opportunity. And thank you for your kindness, Stealth. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back on the show over and over again. This is like our third interview.
Anytime, brother. We should do a weekly thing, man. Like I'm down, man. Like you got me into this, man. So salute to you, brother. PhilC.net, man. Like I appreciate you because I want to give this out because pretty soon, hopefully, I'll be busy. You know what I mean? So while I'm not so busy, I want to get opportunities, and then every time I come back, I'm gonna try to bring another opportunity because I know other music supervisors and I know other producers and stuff, and maybe I can have some of my famous friends come on besides us, and we can get it cooking, man. But hey, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in, man. And like I said, you guys can hit me up on any of the social media and go to this man's website. Like when I go build prompts, I go to his website because I tried to build prompts and then like his are way more elaborate than what I could do even using ChatGPT. So make sure you guys go to his website and build your prompts for Suno and let's try to get to this dilemma. And let me know, you guys, if you guys aren't having any issues with other people. That way I can re-upload these projects. Or should I just keep it on my own? I'm willing to listen. So you guys let me know what I should do.
Thank you, Stealth. I appreciate you. Follow Stealth at Beatology on YouTube. Go to his website. The website is, what is the website?
Beatologist.com, BEATOLOGIST, and they can get our whole catalog of songs, and some beats are on there too if you guys want some, and our whole discography and stuff like that. So thank you.
Beatologist.com. I appreciate it. Let me put that on the screen. There we go. That's it. Hit him up, man. Hit him up. It's not every day you get royalty to talk to from this world. This man has been into the belly of the beast. He's got stories to tell, and he's got evidence of those stories and adventures. So Stealth, thank you very much. Shout out to your audience watching on Facebook and Instagram. You want to give a shout out to any of our peeps out there?
Shouts out to Jake Bailey, Bogart, South Bay Village, Drasana, Kevin Nelson, My boy DJ Assassin, and I appreciate you guys following on my end, man. Like I said, it's nothing like family and friends. I can't do this by myself, and like I said, Phil was a big part. I'm seriously, like, if it wasn't for Phil, I don't even think I could have got this job, because Paramount listened to that new catalog. Okay, like when they
Ah,
vetted me out, they listened to like the whole catalog, not just one thing. So appreciate it, man. Like I said,
wow.
I appreciate you getting me back in, because, like I said, if I wouldn't have put out that new stuff, how do they know my ear wasn't dated? You know what I mean? So at
Mm,
least putting out the new stuff, they at least got to hear it while it was up. So that enabled me to help me get my job. So thank you, Phil, because shit, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have this new job. So appreciate you, brother.
man, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you, Stealth. And our friends out there, don't be a stranger. Reach out to Stealth, reach out to me. The information you need is there. We'll see you very soon. You take care, all. Bye for now.
Salute, brother.